Hello, I'm Reginald Bullock, and
My name is Trey Wilder, and on today's show, this is called Just Living. It's the first episode called The Pilot. I like it. I like it. Reggie, how's everything with you, man?
man, I'm living good. I'm just living.
Nah, I appreciate that. That's how I'm living too. It's been a long weekend, though. It's been a long week, long weekend. I feel like coming up, as I'm glad to just feel like I've been learning lessons throughout this whole week, and I feel like
Number one lesson you learned:
I guess sympathy and empathy.
empathy and empathy.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, I know. Because I haven't necessarily been in someone's shoes recently,
Okay.
but they were going through something. But I've also been in something a little similar because it's like family related.
So,
So,
what's the thing that somebody was going
so long story short, they didn't necessarily get kicked out, right?
kicked out of what?
Of their house.
School?
No, of their place, of their
Okay.
house, of their house. And so it was like a little family ordeal that they had. But he didn't feel like he had a. Well, I guess he felt like he had a place to go, but he was just asking around and stuff like that. I offered my place to him for a couple days. And
Did he stay at your house?
yeah, he stayed in my house. Stayed in my house. He brought his dog with him too.
Have you ever had a dog in your house before?
I've had one. I've had one. It was
So,
an interesting time.
the dog in your house
It was
as a unexpected guest.
it was an interesting time. I gotta say, like he didn't bark except for one time, but that was at the owner, and he got him a little riled up.
Business on the floor ever?
No, he didn't.
That's
Like
good.
he auditioned
Big
really
dog,
well.
little dog.
Big dog came a little almost to the hip, and my normal thing is if you come past the hip, we got problems.
Right.
So like he almost
You
came
can
past
ride
the hip.
that like a horse.
Exactly. Like nah, I'm good off there. But he auditioned real well. He was a chill dog, and he almost made me think about getting one myself. So I was like,
Okay.
yeah. So it wasn't that bad. But like it added extra time to my week. Like even just yesterday,
And your feng shui.
yeah, yeah, because like I now I gotta feel like I gotta vacuum up again. I gotta wash my sheets. Like he was shedding a little bit. It wasn't aggressive, but still, it just messed up the week a little bit. Not messed up, but that might be the wrong word. It threw it off enough.
So here's the deal, right? So many people go through that.
Mhm.
Young, old, where they have to find some place to stay.
Mhm.
Regardless whether you're kicked out or whether you got evicted or whether you graduated from college and you have no clue what's next. So you're out of your dorm room, right?
Exactly.
You're out of your living quarters when you were in college, or you move from one location to another. So how do you anticipate that to prepare for that? So you're not in a situation at the last minute where you contacting a friend and say, "Hey, yo, I need a couch," because how old are you?
31.
31. So think
Okay.
about it, right? Your age group goes through that
Yeah.
on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And fortunately, you were able to help this person out.
Mm.
So how often does this kind of thing happen?
That situation doesn't happen that often. Like, I mean, maybe someone needs to crash because they're in DC or something like that.
Right.
But that situation doesn't happen often. It was like I've been asked about, can I borrow money? That happens a little more often.
Right.
But yeah, like to just get a place to stay for a couple days like that, not often. And
Initially,
initially,
had somebody stay here for over a year and a half. It started off because of COVID,
okay, okay.
and he was here in April,
Mhm.
and it was basically, for a few months, and then a few more months, and then a year later, and a year and a half. So
That's crazy.
that was unexpected. But I also think sometimes it's good to be in a position to help other people.
Yeah.
It's good to be in the position where, how you say, there but go I, the grace of God, right? And so we're fortunate to have what we have,
Mhm.
and we're not in that situation today.
Exactly.
But any one of us,
Be in that
I don't care
situation.
who you are, how high you are, how much money you have, how successful you are,
Mhm.
at any given time, it could be you.
Yeah. And so I'm curious about this, right? Because I was thinking about this for a little bit. Does it make you selfish thinking like that as opposed to just saying, "Hey, I want to help someone out." Like there's a part of me that says, like you, I could be in this situation tomorrow. Like
Right.
anything could happen. You never know.
Right.
So is it selfish to think like that? Although you're mainly trying to help folks out.
So it's not selfish, right?
Okay.
Because it's not even about you. You put the work in,
Right.
you've gone to school, you put your resume, you interviewed, you got a job, you're doing all this stuff on your position description, and you're getting paid.
Mhm.
There's nothing selfish about being successful.
Okay.
There's nothing selfish about achieving in that respect. So the fact that you had it
Mhm.
and they don't have what you have, that's not selfish. That's just you have what they don't have.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
kind of like, if I had two sandwiches
Mhm.
and you don't have a sandwich, you give you one.
Yeah.
There's nothing selfish about that. If anything, it's generous.
Okay.
And so, no, I wouldn't look at it as selfish at all, man. I mean, you're blessed.
Mm.
You're blessed. So you're sharing your blessings.
Right.
Why would you think it's selfish?
Because I think it's not like all right, this is a reserve or this is something I'm trying to like hold on to later on in life. Because again, like I'm in a solid situation right now.
Mhm.
What happens 6 months from now? Something happens now, so I'm not in that same solid situation.
Right.
But I'm doing stuff to help people out now. It's like a like a small part of me, I feel like in the back of my head is saying, well, if you're doing it for people now, it might come back to you later on. And but it's not that's not what's driving me.
Hmm.
It's just like something you pick up. Like if you do good things for people in general, hopefully good things come back to you.
And
So
that's not selfish, man. To be able to have the mindset of, I want to do for somebody else that which I hope they would do for me.
mhm.
That's just living life, man.
Okay,
That's just
okay,
living life,
okay,
you know. Yeah. So I wouldn't put too much energy into that part
okay,
versus the fact that you did the seed and harvest.
right,
You reaping what you sowed,
yeah,
and therefore you sowed a lot of good seeds, and now you're harvesting from that.
mhm,
Some of it you store up for later,
yeah,
just in case.
right.
6 months from now, stuff happens. You can go and get some of that harvest
It does.
and maintain yourself and bridge yourself, you know, for a little while until you get more harvesting.
Yeah. See, I sometimes I used to question like, all right, where do I land? Right? I know we talked about hustler versus being lazy, and we talked about how like lazy might not be the proper term for like the I guess opposite version of hustler. But I used to think I guess what can I do to get money? Like what can I do to make sure I'm.
That's a good question that many people probably have every day. What can I do to get money?
Yeah,
Right.
and it was frustrating too because even as an adult, like a couple years ago, I have a full paying job. Like I'm an FTE, and I wanted to quit.
FTE stands for
Full
full
time
time
employee.
equivalent.
Full time what?
Sometimes full time
Oh, full time
employee, but
equipment. Yeah,
equivalent.
that's true. Okay, okay, okay. Well, see, I'm looking and I'm like, I don't like my situation.
Right.
Like I need to have something different. I need to have, but yeah, I'm just bogged down on myself. I'm like, I don't know what it is. Like, so I try to find other avenues. I did DoorDash, Uber Eats,
Okay.
and I'm
That's
like,
getting a hustle on.
let's get you. Hey, listen.
DoorDash, Uber, Lyft, all of those different types of skills, if you will,
Mhm.
are forms of hustle.
And see, it gave me like a sense of fulfillment when I did those jobs.
Right.
Like one, I got to network, met some interesting people,
Oh,
but then two, I actually saw and got to appreciate a little bit more my job. Like what I'm doing now, I realize I can do my current job
yeah.
and do this stuff.
Now you're starting to figure out how to get your hustle on.
You know, like because back in the day, I think my middle school days, I'm a kid. Our backgrounds are different, so I didn't necessarily have to work.
Yeah, your background is you come from a privileged family. You had a mother and a father,
Right.
nice house. You probably had at least two cars, and you knew you were going to be able to eat every day.
Give or take.
Yeah, I came from the
Give
projects.
or take. But see, my dad also came from that background of like the
Oh, I know your
project.
dad.
So like I think he was trying to make sure I had the lifestyle that I had. But sometimes in growing up, you also kind of realize, okay, well, I can make money doing this, that, and third. So I remember in school one time, middle school, I'm selling candy. Like I'm a couple cents, mind you, go to the dollar store, get a whole bunch for like a
I
dollar.
did that.
Yeah.
I put high school kids in business
Mhm.
doing just that.
Yeah, and then my parents had like their own entertainment business, so like,
Hmm.
we were actually in plays and stuff. Like, and we rented out the CNU stadium one time, and like I'm selling out candy
Okay.
to the people who are coming
Right.
in. I'm acting in the play, but I'm also selling candy. And I got my cousins on standby.
550.
Trying to get the hustle on. Trying to get the hustle on.
That's how Jackson started.
Yeah,
The hustle.
I want to say I might have got detention too for that selling candy in school.
I had a kid that got in trouble with the principal for doing that. He called me up. He said, the principal told me I can't sell candy no more.
Yeah.
I went to the school. I talked to the principal. I said, look, I'm the one that got him doing it.
Right.
So don't make him, pay for that mistake. He did it because I said do it.
Right.
I said, the reason why is because his family's poor. They're on welfare. And they're dealing with, government subsidies.
Yeah.
And this is the only way he knows how to make money as opposed to selling drugs and doing all that other stuff. And he was like, I tell you what, he can sell candy before school. Mm-hmm. He can sell candy after school. And he can even sell candy, during, I think, lunchtime.
Okay, that makes sense.
But he can't be walking the hall all the time selling candy. And so we came up with a rule structure. And I told him, I said, look, get to school an hour early and just sell it out. And after school, if you have some left, sell it. But follow the principal's rules. Mm-hmm. And by the way, every once in a while, stop by the principal's office and try to sell him a candy so he can see that you're an honest person getting your hustle on.
Right.
So that's kind of how that ended up. It was in St. Louis in 1990.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I was born in 92, so it just shows you the game. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we hope you have had a good time. Like we said, bro, listen, this was supposed to be a little test run for the pilot. We ain't got our clothes on like the way we wanted to.
We'll wear them next time.
Hey, next time. But definitely hope you all appreciate this conversation. Hope you all learned something. And most importantly, please like, subscribe, comment, and tell anyone who's anyone about the show. Because not necessarily for ratings, so we appreciate them. But at the same time, we want to get y'all feedback. Because maybe we said something that was off or sounded wrong, or you had questions about it. I don't know. Like I know people might have question marks on something I said. So please share your thoughts and tell us. I know for a fact, I promise you, I will gladly reach out. And Reggie's pretty open himself too. And again, it's just two guys having genuine conversation from different backgrounds. So, but before we do close, I do want to say, Reggie, I appreciate you because fun fact, he did challenge me when we were fishing, and he was like, I mean, yeah, if you're gonna call me, go ahead. And if you know Reggie, that's more of like, I'm doubting it a little bit. So I was like, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I call this man next day, next week type vibes. And I did, and now we're here. And this is really motivating because I gotta go help a friend move after this. And I promise you, I'm trying to think, how can I avoid that? To go get some more recordings done. Like this is exciting, bro. This is
hustle.
Exactly. So Reggie, like from the bottom of my heart, just over the years, I appreciate you as a person. And I just wanted to make sure I had it on camera. I know we had like a flowers segment, quote unquote, to possibly talk about, but like I wanted to make sure I gave you your flowers and say thank you from the bottom of my heart. So I appreciate this.
Thank you. All right. Well, on that note, in the words of Russell Simmons, thank you very much. God bless.
Hope you have a good one.